Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So in this video there are two goals. The first goal is to see how to solve this problem, and the second goal is to see how you should behave in a real coding interview. So let's get started. So remember, in a real coding interview, the first step is always try to understand the question. If there is anything unclear, please ask a question to the interviewer, and also at the same time think about some edge cases. So let's see this problem. So given an array nums sorted in none as any other, so return an array of the square of each number sorted in none as any other. So example 1, we have -4, -1, 0, 3, and 10. So the output is going to be 0, 1, 9, 16, and 100. So let's see the constraints. So the constraint says that the input array is never going to be empty. It's between length 1 to length 10k. And each number is between negative 10k to positive 10k. And the number is sorted in as non-decreasing order. Alright, so I think at this time I don't see too much about the edge case. So let's think about the solution. So after you understand the problem, the next step is always try to think about the solution and talk with your interviewer, do some runtime space analysis, etc. So I would say what we could do the best is we could do in O of n for the approach. So what we could do is, first of all, we try to find the point, which is like the split between the positive and negative numbers. And then we keep two pointers there. So one pointer is going towards the left and one pointer going towards the right. So in that case, every time we compare the number pointed by the left and right pointer, when I say compare, we compare the absolute value. So if so whichever is has the smallest absolute value, then we just keep moving that pointer. And then try to insert the corresponding number pointed by the pointer. So that's pretty much it. The runtime is going to be all of n. Space-wise, if we consider the return value, then we are going to be all of n. If you don't consider that, it is going to be all of 1. So let's do some coding work. So for coding, take care about the speed, the readability, and also don't be too slow. So correctness. Alright, so let's do some coding work for this. So first of all, the first task for us to do is to find the splitting point. So you're going to say we have two pointers, left pointer and right pointer. Let's see. So if I would say if nums I is larger or equal to 0, I would say if it is larger than 0, then we are going to have the left set as I and the right set as I, and also what should we do? So then we are going to break here. So that's it. If we have everything to be negative value, then that could potentially break this. So what we should do is every time we should move the left and right pointer, and if the current number is a positive number, then we are just stopping there. So at the end, potentially, if it is like all negative number, then both left and right are pointing to the end of the thing. Otherwise, both left and right are pointing to the non-negative or are the first positive integer at this point. So I would say so the first task is to find the transition point and init left and right. So if I'll say that. So if nums right or nums left is larger than 0, then what we are going to do is we are going to minus left. So like for this example, we have left pointing to 0 and right pointing to 3. And for this example, left pointing to -3 and the right pointing to 2. So at this point, what we could do, so we have already found the transition point, and the next step is to move pointers and set the return, set the result. So we are going to have like the square as new int nums.length. So well, left is larger or equal to 0, or right is smaller than nums.length. So we are going to say, okay, so if left is already smaller than 0, it means it is out of the range. If it is smaller than 0, then it is out of the range. What we are going to do is we are going to set, let's say have the square, like index as 0. We are going to have the squares I dx plus plus as equal to, so this should be nums right times nums right, and plus plus right. Sure. So else if and then we just need to continue here. So if the right is already at the end, so if right is larger or equal to nums.length, then we are going to say, okay, square, what we are going to do is squares idx plus plus is equal to nums left times nums left, then minus the left, and then we are going to continue. So otherwise we need to do the comparison. So the comparison is if nums, we are doing the absolute value comparison. If mass.abs of nums left is so if it is smaller than mass.abs nums right, you're going to do something like this, and otherwise we are going to say, okay, it should be the right stuff plus the right, and then finally we just return the squares. So that's pretty much it for this piece of code. So after you're done with coding, don't forget to do some testing. So since we have this platform, we could rely on this to help us debug. So it is run, okay. So idx plus plus is equal to nums left. It says that index is out of the boundary. How? So if, oh, okay, so it is plus right. So there's a typo here. Let's run it. Okay. So let's do a submission. It's runtime error, so index 1 out of the bound of 1. So how that could happen? Because if it is just a 1 integer, so if nums dot alright, so if it's 1, yeah, So initially, let's see what is breaking us. So it is a 0. So if it is 0, what are we trying to do? So if it is larger than 0, then we just break. Otherwise, oh, okay. So I think what we are trying to have, we should just minus left, regardless whether it is larger than 0 or not, because we are setting the left and right here at the first positive number. So we just minus left. I think that should be fine. Now let's just make sure that we have this. Alright, so let's do another submission. Alright, so now we have fixed the issue. So that's it for this coding question. If you have any question about the solution, feel free to leave some comments below. If you like this video, please help subscribe this channel. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.